So hello everyone, welcome back. In the previous video we have learnt about conditional statements in C, where we discussed about the if-else statement and also about the nested if-else statement, and at the end we practiced few problems or programs with the if-else statement. In today's video we are going to discuss about another type of conditional statement, that is switch case. So what is switch case? Switch case is also another type of conditional statement. Okay, so what is switch case? Switch case is another type of conditional statement which help us to implement conditional operation in our program, that is to execute a part of the code and to ignore another part of the code. Okay, we already know about this, but you know very clearly what I am meaning by to execute a part of the code and ignoring a part of the code, right? It will be based upon a condition. So let's see what is the technical definition of switch case, and then after that we'll proceed to the syntax. So let's read. Switch case is a conditional statement used in C programming to check the value of a variable, and compare it with all cases. In switch there are various cases to compare. So what happens here? Here a value of a variable is compared with all cases. If the value is matched with any case, then its corresponding statements is executed. Okay, we will learn this in our syntax. Okay, we will understand it much better in our syntax. So if we read the next one, which is each case has some name or number known as identifier. The value entered by the user will be compared with all the cases and until a final case is found. Now it may happen that none of the case is matching. So what will be happening in that case? So see here, if value entered by the user is not matched with any case, then default block or default statement will be considered for execution. So if we see now the syntax of syntax of switch case, then we can understand it better. So let's say about the syntax. See here, what is the syntax of switch case? So this is the syntax of switch case. Okay, this is the syntax of switch case. So what is meant by this expression over here? We use the term switch to start the conditioning part. Okay, so what is the meaning of switch? Switch means to take or read the value of variable from the user. So here there will be an expression whose value will be checked in this case, and also if other cases are present. So suppose here I give a expression, suppose it is switch 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 A, then bracket open and here bracket close. Now there is cases, case 1, okay, case 2, like this. So what this code will do? This code will check value of A, that is variable A, which is the user input. Okay, what is this A? Will be value from user. Okay, so what this expression will contain? Expression will contain a variable or an expression. Suppose it can be a variable name A. It can be also be A plus B, sum of A plus B. Obviously it can be product of A plus B. Okay, but it cannot be any relational operator like A greater than B. This is not allowed, or A less than B. These things are not allowed. There has to be an expression, not condition. Okay, so what will be here in the expression? We have learned now in the case. Now case is the block which consists of the line of operation. Okay, now this one, the value of this A here will be matched with 1. If value of A is 1, then part in this block will be executed. If value of A is 2, then this part will be executed, right? So similarly it contains a condition. So expression, condition, and then default, that is a else block. If none of the conditions are matching, then the default is executed. Okay, now what is the implementation of this break? What is the implementation of the break? So break actually helps us to separate the cases from the another. So if this case is finished, then we write break to terminate the operation of this respective break. If case 2 is finished, then also we write break, okay, to terminate the operation of this break. Okay, so if the value from the user of A is given as 2, right? So what will happen in the first case? Compiler will check case 1. No, this one is false, so not reading this entire code. Compiler will next check case 2. Yes, this is true. Then it will execute this code over here, which is whichever code is presentable. Okay, so this was the process of execution of the switch case. Now, what is the function of this default block? Now, default block is a separate block which is similar to the else block in C. When was the else block getting executed? In if else, when none of the conditions are matching, none conditions matching, then this one is executed. Okay, it's similar to the else block which we studied in the if else. So when is default executed? Default is executed at the time when none of the conditions or cases are matching. Okay, now it also has a break block, keyword to terminate the execution of this part of code, this block. So like this, it is the syntax of switch case. So what we write? So it is switch, then the variable whose value needs to be checked with the conditions, brace open, brace close, and then we write the cases over here, case, then expression and condition, then we terminate the case or end the case by writing the break. Okay, and then another case to compare, and at the end we write default, then break. What does the default block do? Default block is used to check if none of the conditions are matching. Okay, so this was about the syntax of switch case. So if we compare this switch case with if else, what we have the comparisons. Let's see. So this side I have switch case and this side I have if else. Okay, now see, let's read it. It contains only a single expression, and this expression is either a single integer object or a string object. It checks only equality expression. Okay, equality means if the value is equals, then only it can check the equality expression. It cannot check if A is greater than B. No, this is not allowed. It cannot check if A is less than B. This is also not allowed. What can I check? It can only check if A equal to 5. This one is allowed. Okay, or not A equal to 5. It can only check the equality of A with other cases. Okay, so this was the use or the one advantage, or you can say use of switch case. Now if we come to the if else part, okay, what we have said, it can contain a single expression or multiple expression when we use logical operator to sum up many conditions together. Okay, for multiple choices. In this expression is evaluated based on range of values of condition and checks both equality and logical expression, right? We can check logical expressions like if A greater than B, this is the range, right? If A equal to B. Now these things are allowed in if else, right? So these things are allowed in if else, but these things are not allowed in if else. We can only compare equality in switch case. Okay, so in if else we can also have multiple conditions checking at the same point, which is not allowed in switch case. Now let's see the other difference what we have. Okay, now let's see this difference. Switch statement can evaluate either integer or a character. That means it can only compare or evaluate the condition where integer is involved or character is involved. But in if else, the statements can evaluate almost all types of data type. That is integer, floating point, character, pointer, or boolean. Right? So what can it compare? It can only compare whether there is an integer or not in variable A. It can compare whether there is a character or not in variable A, like that. But what it can compare? It can compare all types. So this way you can say that if else is much more versatile in comparing the data type. Right? So It can evaluate almost all types of data, that is integer, also floating point, that is real number, character, pointer, boolean. Okay, now last difference what it says over here, let's see. Last difference is that in case of switch statement, after one case is executed, until a break keyword is not found, the default statement is not executed, right? So this is the thing which I have explained in the syntax, right? So if you read it again, in case of switch statement, one case after the another will be executed until the break is found. So this is a phenomena called the fall through, which is called fall through. We will discuss this in the later part of this video. Okay, fall through. Okay, and if none of the conditions are matching, what is executed? The default statement is executed. If none of the cases are matching, then default case or the default block is executed. Okay, and if one case matches, suppose if case 1 matches and we have cases up to 5. Now suppose A's value is 1 and we forgot to give in case break between the cases. So what will happen? The one part is executed, and from 1 until the break is found, all the cases will be executed. If the condition matches, if the condition not matches, does not matter. If one case is matching, then all the cases below it will be executed until the break is found. Okay, even the default can also be executed, right? And see here, what is the contrary to this? The if condition in if block is not true within the if statement, then by default the else block is executed. We already know about this, that if the condition in if is false, then the else block is executed. Okay, now let's see a program where we implement this switch case operation. So what is the program to see? Write a program to print sum of two numbers or difference of two numbers, and what will be printed as per the user input. See here a term or is used. That means we have to print any one. Which one we will print will depend upon the user's inputs. So suppose we can assume here that when user enters S, sum displayed. Okay, when the user enters D, at that time difference displayed. Okay, and all these characters are in lowercase. So what do we have to switch? We have to switch this character. We have to switch a variable which will hold this character. So let's switch a variable which will hold this character, either S or it will hold D. Okay, now let's go to our VS Code. We can understand this in a better way. So let's switch to our VS Code. So we are here in our VS Code, and now we will start coding. So let's go. So we have to declare a character variable which will store the character. So char a, let us assume. Then after that, we have to take input from the user about the value of character a. So scanf %c, comma %a. So this will implement or accept the value of a from the user. Now what we have to do? We have to declare two variables a and b whose sum we are going to find, and also we have to declare sum and difference. Okay, so what will this sum and difference do? It will store the sum and the difference. So what we will switch? We will switch the variable a, and then we have to compare the cases. So case when it is sum s, then what we will do? We will write sum equal to a plus b. Okay, and then we will write break. Okay, this was one case, that is the sum case. When the user enters S, sum will calculated and also displayed. So to display sum, we will do printf sum is %d, comma sum. Now if the user presses D in such case, so what we will do? We will make another case. So it will be D for difference. So we will write diff equal to a minus b. Okay, after that we will break the code, that means this block, using the break statement, and then we will print before the break. We will write ffere and difference is %d, comma diff. Okay, simple. So this was the possible cases which gives us a good output. Either it is sum or it is not. That is the difference. Okay. So now we will make a default case. Okay, where the program will print error input, printf invalid choice. Okay, that is if the user presses something unknown key. So what will happen in this case? Invalid choice. Okay, so this was our code. And then if you write break also, then also it is good. And if you miss out the break, then also it is very good, because there is no further cases or blocks after this default. Okay, so this was our code. Okay, now what we will do, we will give values to this a and b. So what can be the value of a? Let's give it to 5. Value of b, let's give it to 12. Okay, let's run this code. So error is coming. Let's see what is the error shown. So we declared 2 variable a, so let's change one variable. Okay, so it will be c. Okay, character c, and this one also c, and we will switch c. Let's run this. Also another error is coming. What is being said? We missed a semicolon, I guess. Okay, we missed colon over here, which was violating the syntax, and now it's okay, I guess. Let's see. Implicit declaration of function f. Why this error is coming? Okay, so I did a spelling mistake, I guess. Yeah, over here. So it will be printf, printf. Okay, now good. So here it is accepting or asking us for the value of c. So let's give it to s. So it gives that the sum is 12. Okay, now let's give the value of s to be d. So it is giving that difference is -7. Now let us execute the default block. Let's give it any random variable, say q, value say q. So invalid choice. So what is our valid choices? That is, it is either s or it is d. So in this way we implement the switch case in our code. Now let's go back to the theory part, and we will see the implementation of the fall through thing, concept of fall through. Let's see. So we are in our slides. Here we will now understand the concept of fall through. Okay. Okay. So here the concept of fall through is declared or discussed. So what is fall through? I have also explained you while saying about the difference between if else and switch case. Now let's discuss this in a very detail. Okay. So what is fall through? Fall through is a phenomena which occurs when we forget to write a break statement. When we miss out the break statement in our switch case, in any case, then the fall through phenomena occurs. So what is fall through? In fall through, when a case is matched with the expression statement, under the specific case, the expression, okay, put a comma over here, the statement under the specific case will be executed, and the flow of execution will continue up to the point until the break is found. As I have mentioned previously, suppose the case is matched, okay, and there are more cases, and we also missed out to write breaks. Then the point from where the case is matched with the condition, from that point to the last until a break is found, to that point the statements will be executed. Okay, so if no break is found, even the default block can also be executed. So it is important to write break to end the cases part, case block. Okay, but it is not always bad to have a fall through in our code. Okay, it is sometimes beneficial also. How it is beneficial we will understand with the code. Let's see a code. So before going to the code, let's repeat it again. Suppose a case is executed. Suppose we have a switch over here, switch A. So case 1 is 2, then we write case 2 is 2. Okay, let's do it in the next page. We can understand it in a better way because there we have more space. Okay, so let's see. So here it is saying us a program to print all numbers up to 10 starting from the value which the user inputs. But before doing this, let's have a classical example in a graph about the implementation of fall through. So suppose there we have a code switch A. So what this statement will do? This statement will check the value of A. Suppose we have the case 1 as printf A, capital A. Then we missed out a break line. Okay, so case 2 printf B. Okay, now we have a break line over here. Okay, then after that we have the default. Okay, sorry, default, and then printf D. Okay, then after that break again. This is not compulsory because there is no other cases after this. So this was the switch case code. Okay, so what will happen when the user inputs some value? Suppose the user gives the value of A to be 1 or say 2. Let's discuss the normal case first. The user give the value of A to be 2. So what will happen? This case will not be executed because this is case 1, right? So the case 2 will be executed because the value of case 2 is 2. So what will be printed? B will be printed. So this is my output screen. So B will be printed. Okay, done one operation. So let's remove this. Now suppose the user gives the value of A to be 1. Suppose the user gives the value of A to be 1. So what will happen in that case? See, this case will be matched, right? Case 1, code executed. What is printed? A is printed. Now see, there is no break over here to end the execution of this case. Okay, so what will happen? Case 2 will also be executed. What is in case 2? B. Then it finds a break over here. So output is only this much. Okay, so this was the implementation of fall through, there where only one case is matched, and if the break is missing, all the cases after that is being executed. Okay, and there is until a break is found. Now if in case I'm saying in case we missed to write this break also in the case 2, then what would happen? Suppose the user gives the value of A to be 1 again. So what will happen? A will be displayed, no break over here. B will be displayed, also no break over here. What is here? Default block also will be executed. This is ABD will be displayed. Okay, so this was the implementation of a what you call the fall through in a very simple way. Okay, but this is not the code which is being asked for us to print in the compiler. So let's read the question what we have now. Okay, so what is the question over here? Write a program to print numbers up to 10 starting from the value which the user inputs. So what we have to do? We have to print numbers up to 10. From which number? The number from which we will print will be the user input. So how do we do this code? Let's see. So let's go to VS Code now. So we are in our VS Code. Let's change the code now. So we will erase everything over here. Okay, we will now change the input also here. So let's change this char c to int starting value. Okay, so we'll change start underscore value. Okay, so we will accept the start value from the user, start underscore value from the user, and we'll change it to %t for input, which is the format specifier for int. Now what we will do? We will compare the cases. So switch start underscore value. Okay, we will make that if input is 1, case 1, then print f1 and if input is 2, then printf like that. So we will copy it indirectly. Okay, Control C and Control V. Okay, so let's change the value of 1 like this. So this will be 2, this will be 2, and just a minute, I've copied it in a wrong way. Let's do it correctly. So like this, and now paste. Control V. Here also Control V again, and we are done, I think. Okay, so we will change this 1 value to 3 using the multi-cursor functionality. I have mentioned how to do that by holding the Alt. Okay, by using the Alt, you can use the multi-cursor functionality of VS Code. So again 4. Now I will press Alt, and I will also hold Alt and press 5, and then 6. 7. Here also 7, 8, and here also 8. Now we have 2 more cases left. Case 9 is to printf 9, and then case 10 is to printf 10. Okay, so we are done with our code. Now if a user gives a value or starting value more than 10, that will throw an error, right? So we will write our default block. So we will write a default block, printf value entered greater than 10. Okay, so see here, we will print up to 10, and we don't want to print this line, the value entered is more than 10, if our output is already coming, right? So what we will do, we will write a break statement after the case 10, right? So like this. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, so this was how we implement switch case in our program, and now let's run this code. So the program is asking us for a starting value. Let's give it to 2. So if we give 2, see 2 3 4 5 6 7 9 10, up to that is being printed. Okay, now if we give starting value, say 8, see only 8 9 10 is getting printed. Now we will give a scenario when we will give our number or starting value more than 10. So let's give it to 14. See, value entered is greater than 10, so no series is getting printed. So in this way we implement fall through in our program. See here, in none of the cases I have used break other than the last break. Okay, so what happens, suppose the entered input is 1, so 1 is printed. So if none of the break is found, all these cases is being executed up to a break is found. So like this the fall through occurs. Now let's go to VS Code and see, the theory part, and see if what question we have next. Okay, so this was all about switch case, concept of switch case, only this much. Now we will implement this in our code. So we are back in our theory part. Let's see what is the code we have next. Okay, so here we have the code which says write a program that finds sum, difference, product and quotient of two numbers based on user's input. If user have any other choices rather than the above given action, program prints error in choice. So this last part is speaking of the default block, right? And the above part is saying about the cases. That is this much. Okay, this one is saying about the cases, and this part is saying about the default block. So let's see in our VS Code how we implement this. Now let's go to VS Code. Just a minute. So we are in our VS Code now. So let's see. how we do this. So you can also call it a calculator program, which is calculating the sum, product, quotient, and the remainder, I guess. So let's do this. So we will switch. First, we will accept the value of choice from the user. So we will declare a and b as variable to store the value whose value we are to calculate, and we will accept the value of choice first from the user, %c, and let it will be cat c, which will store the choice. Now after taking the choice, it will accept the value of scanf, the value of a and b whose calculation we are about to perform. So scanf %d, okay, and here I am %a, and then also scanf %d, comma, %b. Okay, so now we will start calculating and finding the cases and start solving this. So we will switch C, which is storing our choice. So if case is, so how we compare the equality of character? By using the single quotes, right? So what we will write in single quotes? If case is plus, that is the user wants to add. So what we will do in that case? We will do printf sum is %d, and see here in single printf statement only we are going to print the output of sum. So what we will write? A plus b, right? So after printing the sum, we will write a break statement to break the execution of this block. Okay, so this was about one part. Now we will write again, copy this and paste. Copy, paste, and paste. Okay, and let's change this to minus, and this one to minus. So we'll write difference is, and we will change this product, product, product is, and changed it to star. So it will be a star b, and let's change it to division by, okay, and change it to a by b. Okay, and at last, if the default block, default default block, as a default block, what we will write? Invalid choice. Okay, so let's change it to invalid choice. Invalid, VALID, invalid choice. Okay, now we missed a part. It will be UUOTIENT. Quotient is percentage. It will not be D. Why it will not be D? Because the quotient can come a real number also. So for that we will declare a floating point value. Float A, or you can say QUO, equal to, suppose it will be A into 1.0, where we are converting the value of A to 1.0, that is to decimal, and we'll divide it by B into 1.0. Okay, so this will give the value of floating point value of the division, that is in real number. Okay, so we'll write here QUO. Similarly here, product can also be like this, so we will write here, so int product, or you can write prod equal to A product of B, and we will print here product, PRO. Okay, so that's all about our code. I hope it is correctly written. Okay. Okay, let's run this code, and if we get any error, we'll correct it down. So let's start. So it will be C, not choice. So let's see. So it is showing an error. Let's see. in product level currently and declaration not a statement. Okay, so here it is saying us that we cannot declare it within the cases. So to do this, we have to declare product in any other place that is outside the switch case. Okay, so we'll declare switch product over here. Okay, and here also floating point, it will be float QUO, right? So let's see how it works. So here it is asking us for the first input, that is our choice. Suppose we want to find the sum first, so plus, we press enter. Then it is asking us for the value of A. Let's give it 5, and also B, let's give it 5 again. So it is showing sum is 10. So our program is correctly written. Okay, now addition part is successfully done. Now let's check if the difference is coming properly. So let's do it to minus. It is asking us for the choice, minus, then we will give 5 and again 5 to get easy output. So difference is 0, right? Program is functioning properly. So let's give it to product, that is star asterisk. Okay, now let's give it to 5 and 3 this time. So product is 15, this one is also correct. Now we will check whether the quotient is coming properly. So let's give it to division, that is by. Okay, let's give it to 15. Okay, and B's value to 3, so quotient is 5.0. okay, and let's give it to any invalid output and let's see it is given or not. Let's give it to any other character, say R. So it is asking us for the value of 3 A and B, so let's give it 4. So it is showing us invalid choice. So our program is done correctly. Okay, it is able to calculate the quotient also, addition, product also, like that in a very proper way. So this is our code. You can run this in your compiler too and use it as a calculator program also. Okay, so this was all about the implementation of switch case in our program. Now let's go to a theory code and see if we have something else to see. So we are back in the theory. So let's see if we have something else. So that's all for today. See you in the next video where we will discuss about looping in C. What is looping? I can give you a very brief insight. Suppose I have a statement to execute multiple number of times. At that point, we take the help of looping instead of writing the statements repeated number of times. Okay, so keeping it discussed for today. In the next video, we will discuss about what is looping. There are 3 types of loop, that is for, do, while and while. We will cover everything in one video itself. So till then, you can practice few problems in switch case. I will provide the questions in description. So till then, thanks for watching. Keep learning and keep exploring.